What's good? It's Casper. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about the movie John Wick Chapter 4. John Wick Chapter 4 is a 2023 film. It's rated R. It's 2 hours and 49 minutes. Directed by Chad Stahelski. Man, what a ride. What a world that this John Wick character is in. Can't believe that this is the final movie from this franchise. And just thinking about all the watches, the first 3 watches, just thinking about like how this character has literally just grown and more of like just implanted in your mind. This journey is very, very crazy. And we're here at the final movie. There's a lot of stuff attached to this movie, just literally the John Wick franchise in general, that I give a lot of props for. Definitely a lot of the cast and crew who are just back every movie. Huge props to that. The director as well. The director, I'm just very happy that a lot of the focus doesn't change. And if there's anything that's off, you know, we don't want to put it too down. We know that they can come back with another one. And that was more of the third movie vibe in my opinion. The first 2 have been nothing but a whirlwind of just like, whoa, this is absolutely insane. John Wick in general is a very cool character. Man, just stands in its own lane pretty much. This guy right here, very cool that in our generation that we have a character like this to basically in the future be able to talk about where this John Wick character started. Keanu Reeves as well. Being able to see his performance in these movies is one of those things that I can tell in the future it's going to be much more appreciated. But here we are in the final movie. Here we are in the final moments of this John Wick character. This one right here, I can't believe that this is really the final one. So let's get straight right into it. So in this movie, just like the other ones, it's definitely still following the storyline. There's nothing in this franchise that throws anything into the flow where it's like, whoa, what is going on? We are in the final one, which is continuing from the last movie where basically the whole table wants to take out John Wick. And in here, we're just seeing how John Wick is surviving the final days and the final moments of the high table literally being after him. Oh my gosh, what a group of people. This is like a whole world people under this organization. Obviously gonna see John Wick deal with new enemies, deal with new challenges to basically help himself not deal with the high table being after him so much. So John Wick is looking for his freedom and looking at options where he can actually get this freedom. That's what this movie is about, is this how is John Wick gonna become a free man? That in general is just a crazy storyline. I just want to give a lot of props to just the people who are involved in all the movies. I mean, Keanu Reeves in this one right here, it was just awesome just to see that this guy really is full action mode, and his character is one of those things as well for me where I just like how this guy's world, this guy's mission is something that I haven't really seen in more of just a realistic aspect. A lot of these movies are mission 007 action spy type of vibe. They always try to add some sort of like that realistic vibe to those movies, and in this one right here, I like how this is just a crazy fantasy world that we're watching in John Wick's world. I really like as well that they add just small details to have that realistic feel. This movie, this franchise in general, you could point out some stuff where it's just maybe not the most realistic thing, like not seeing no cops anywhere, not seeing a lot of interactions from the city like that. We're basically just seeing a whole creation of fantasy where everything just looks badass. And that's one thing that I just wanted to point out in this movie right here, is that a lot of the stuff that we've seen in this crazy fantasy world of John Wick, this final movie didn't have anything in here where it was like trying too hard or trying to set it up where it's like we want perfection. I think a lot of the stuff, like the flow of this movie, the director, his cinematography, he understood a lot of the errors probably from the third one where he had to execute on this one. The mission in this movie is absolutely insane. The character development is wild just because this could go anywhere. And I like how this movie as well, to end it off, I like how you can't really guess the ending. You can't really guess what's gonna happen in this style movie. So before even going to characters, I just like this whole story flow in this fourth one about this movie. As much as we know about this guy John Wick, it still is keeping you guessing. A lot of the action scenes in this movie were very much more enhanced than the third one. I'll say a lot of the camera direction in here was something that they should have probably went for in the third movie, and then in this movie right here, direction wise, they knew exactly how to just place everything. Nothing in the editing was off, nothing even in the editing to the back and forth hits that didn't look off as well. I feel feel like a lot of the panning was really showing a lot of very unique color in these scenes. Like a lot of the stuff in here, I'm pretty sure is the camera, but very, very good quality to see. It really reminded me of like a video game swag, a video game style movie where we're following a lot of characters in these movie sequences in the games. So I think just placing the camera made a lot of the stuff attractive. We're seeing these hits, we're seeing these battles, and we're not seeing anything where one main thing could be happening on the top of your screen and we're missing out on the bottom right. Everything was placed perfectly for you to see and capture what the whole purpose of this movie is the action, the fun, the mysterious outcome that we're about to see. Overall, that whole vibe is thrill. I love the thrill in this movie. I love the suspense of just every battle in general. Didn't seem like a similar or something that we saw from a last battle type of vibe. I like how every scenario in here just brought that one little percent of like, whoa, that's cool. It just kept adding and adding and adding attractiveness on just seeing where John Wick's gonna go. And this vibe right here, John Wick vibe, is in its own alley. It's in its own lane. People behind the scenes in this movie as well didn't want to have a franchise where it's like, dang, we could have ended it here, but for some odd reason, we wanted it to keep going. Overall, on a creation world like this, you know, who's gonna do this? Who's gonna be able to create a world like this and not be somebody that judges their project so much and never come out? Like this project, this John Wick franchise was literally, in my opinion, like a risk type of character, a risk type of movie, because there's so much styles similar to this, but being able to distinguish this John Wick character and bring up the moments that we like from this movie is very, very much needed to actually stand out in a crowd of a lot of good action, crazy assassin, martial arts style movies. A lot of positives, and there is some negatives as well, but overall a lot of the positives is more of like the fans seeing a lot of the things that we saw from the other movies still in here. Like we're rooting for a lot of the stuff that we want to see in these movies. Keanu Reeves plays John Wick, and this character in this movie, man, you could just see the growth. You could just see absolutely that this guy is just set one way. All the crazy muscle memory of fighting and being able to know what to do, how to fall down from a crazy battle, even falling down from a roof. You know that John Wick has that muscle memory in there, but being able to look at this guy's state of mind, man, this movie did a really good job on putting this guy in a position where, oh my gosh, not even though he knows where he wants this to end, he doesn't even know how it's gonna end. So Keanu Reeves in this movie, man, very, very good acting in this movie. I just like how this style, his look is just straight assassin mode. I really liked what they do with the key additions to his character of just making it crazy assassin mode. The jacket being bulletproof, him being able to fight 4 versus 1. Nothing really felt lackluster at all. Got to give props to the choreographer for those moments and those scene setups, because this right here, none of his fight scene moments or anything setting up for a crazy battle was one of those things where it's like, all right, positions everybody and action. Everything really had a good flow. Overall, obviously his character is one of those indestructible things, and when you've seen the whole movie go and go and go, you're like, dang, this dude is just getting hit and hit, beat up like crazy. Keanu Reeves as John Wick, just want to give credit where credit is due. Don't feel like there's anybody else in this acting world that can put out a performance like this. Very, very impressed with this character, and I'm very excited to get into his other roles besides a John Wick character. Lawrence Fishburne plays the character Bowery King. In this movie, he doesn't have a lot of screen time. It's one of those things, he shows up, leaves, and then shows up again. Like that's pretty much how his character is shown in this movie, but very awesome to see his character. Lance Reddick plays Sharon. I just want to say very wild that this guy was able to be in this movie. One, because he passed away, I think a little bit before the movie came out, if I'm not mistaken. But man, his character was one of those ones that you actually got close to. Thank goodness he was brought back for this movie before he passed away. And I didn't know that he passed away till after I watched this movie, and I was totally shocked by that. Just shows me as well that the cast and crew did what they had to do while everyone was there. This is not a franchise that they took advantage of. Ian McShane plays Winston, and Winston was a character in here that totally threw me off in this movie. He was one of those characters where I'm like, I can't look at him as a bad guy. I can't look at him as someone who's gonna turn his back against John Wick. This is learning more about this high table stuff. I'm just more amazed about how expanded this world is. And with Winston, I was just more of like, I wouldn't be surprised, but I just hope not. What an acting performance in this movie. Ian McShane is one of my favorite characters in this John Wick franchise. That class, that style, and the whole personality really brings out a light in John Wick and brings out a light in this whole franchise. But he did great in this movie as well. This movie was like the perfect script for him, because a lot of the lines and his delivery delivery and those lines were absolutely like awesome. A lot of the moments gave me kind of like goosebumps because that look was insane. The camera setup looked great, and then just seeing how the editing behind the scenes just made that scene into what it was, I'm like, whoa, just phenomenal to look at. So very, very cool to see Winston back in this movie, and he was another awesome character in this movie and how they wanted to end this franchise. Bill Skarsgård plays Marquise. That was a good evil villain. I do like how they ended his character. He basically was one of those characters where it's like if they don't end his character the right way, you probably be upset about. But I just want to emphasize on the writing as well again that his character, for how pampered, silver spooned of a person he looks like, this guy looks just wealthy straight to the max. I like how his evil personality kind of stood out at times in this movie, and you just wanted to see it be tested a lot. Bill did a good job in this movie, and I'm not mad at this evil villain. Donnie Yang plays Kane. Crazy character, to be honest. He kind of reminded me of like a greaser swag a little bit, mixed with the spy assassin vibe as well. But overall, I thought his acting performance was really good in this movie. I like how they set him up in those moments to actually look like a blind person and have crazy muscle memory. That was a unique and awesome thing to look at. Good overall costume design as well with him. A lot of his fighting scenes look like he knew exactly how to do them as well, and you could just see that muscle memory was the most intriguing thing about his character. Besides just being very smart in general, they brought awesome characters to this movie, and nothing in here felt like, why are they even here? Samir Anderson, he plays the tracker. He was that character in here that made this movie very interesting because he's another person in this John Wick world that's in his own world. Well done adding this along to this journey. And the tracker had an awesome dog in this movie, and this dog way better than the third one on how they choreographed those dogs. And that was probably my favorite thing about the third one, was how they set up the dogs to have the cool action. But this one right here was exactly what I mean about enhancing what we should have done in the third one and doing it in this one. This dog was super, super cool, added to the tracker's character. Not the craziest, best acting in the movie, but awesome character to bring along. Just added juice to this movie. This whole storyline is a standout. The writing is one thing that you really would want to take notes on how to end a franchise, to be honest. Overall, I think a lot of the stuff in here is super attractive, super badass, and the music and the sound to it adds to it as well. So wow, what an absolute ride. Like I said, this John Wick franchise is done, and that's how you know a movie was good, when a movie didn't even feel like it's over 2 hours. So after my watching the movie John Wick Chapter 4 out of 10, I'm gonna have to give this movie a 10 out of 10. That's my movie review for the movie John Wick Chapter 4. Shout out to you guys for tuning into the video. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace, y'all.